What's going on, guys? It's the Bearded One back with another beer review, and this time we're doing a beer from a brewery that is an in-state favorite, Untapped, and we're doing Wide World. It's if any of you are from Alabama, probably notice these 1 pint size cans going up in shelves they're not the cheapest cans in the world. And they're usually about $15.99 a 4-pack, which is a little high for me, which is why when I saw this in a single, I kind of jumped at the opportunity to snatch it, because I'm not going to lie, I'm again a sucker for marketing, and this whole Light Visions collection thing Untapped is doing has had me really intrigued, and I'm hoping I can snag a couple of the others I saw in singles at my local beer store. I don't know exactly why they called it the Light Visions collection or where they got the marketing idea from, but as you can see here, it's like it's supposed to look like a painted picture, very artsy. The name is very, like Wide World, very artsy, and then they have like a quote from somebody, I guess important, on the side here, and then I like how they add the stats of the beer on here. So that's really cool about this can in general. There's like, I don't know, I want to say roughly 6, I thought I saw, between 4 and 6, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. In the Light Vision series. But it is, tongue tied. I did see on their website that the Light Vision series is supposed to be their collection of small batch New England IPAs, small batch hazy IPAs, and then also New England style IPAs as well. So there's that. This beer in particular, again, Wide World, it was brewed with Calypso and New England I'm going to get this wrong, so let me look at the can. YET, so YET hops. Never heard of YET hops, and that hop variety right there is why I snatched this over anything else I saw in the singles rack. So I'm really interested to see what the YET thing has going on. Maybe, I'm pretty sure I'm not going to be able to tell any difference, but at least I'll be able to say I've drank a beer with YET hops in it. There's also apricot puree in here. They also use Pilsner malt, flaked wheat. So I've never heard of a place using flaked wheat. I've heard of flaked corn in a beer, but not flaked wheat. And then they used oats as well. So a lot going on in here, I think. And let's just get into it. And it is a double IPA as well, a hazy double IPA. So should be something you're probably used to anyways. I really like that aroma. That's a really nice aroma. A little bit more in the can, and I like that, which means I can sip some more after the review. Man, this aroma is really pungent. It's hitting me in the face. Very lively, a lot of carbonation going on, no sediment, so pretty clean beer. I don't know how clear it is though. It's hazy, for sure, but it's definitely not New England hazy. And again, this is separate from the New Englands they put out, so definitely not meant to be New England hazy. But it's definitely hazy. I hate saying hazy. I feel like we overuse that word in the beer review world, but it's got a pretty solid gold color. It gets deeper and richer at the top with lighter. It kind of clarifies down at the bottom, I guess. I don't know if that's the correct term or not. But yeah, head retention's pretty solid. It's still there, not dissipating. Leave some lacing. It is 8% alcohol, so while it looks sessionable, while it smells sessionable, I don't know if I would recommend chugging your entire 4-pack if you did indeed buy a 4-pack of this. So yeah, I think they balanced everything out perfectly in this beer. With it being a double IPA and me not being well versed in double IPAs, I've really only come around to them in the last year or so. I would expect a lot more hops in this. But you know, looking at that mash bill with at least one more, if not a few more varieties of malt in this beer than hops, that tells me it's going to be a little balanced. Maybe hop forward even. But yeah, I kind of get that apricot. Yeah, I get like fruitiness and the hops are in there. It just, nothing's just pow destroying my nose. Everything is just kind of playing together really well. It's not real soupy though. I can pick out everything separately. Yeah, I'm not getting a lot of the malt. Excuse me for not picking up the malt. But when it comes to IPAs, malt just tends to be a little hidden for me. Oh wow, that's really nice on the palate. One thing I've always said about Trim Tab is I feel like they've mastered the IPA. At least in Alabama, I think they're so good at making IPAs. I went down there for a concert recently. Went down to Birmingham sometime in October, and me and my buddy went over to Trim Tab, and I had the Citrus Singularity. That was part of their Lighthouse series. Light Vision is not Lighthouse. And that was fantastic. And then I had something called Mango Colada, and that was another IPA. It was fantastic, knockout beers. And here I am having this thing. Yeah, this thing's really good. It's really balanced. That Pilsner malt kind of, man, I really like that they put Pilsner malt in it. I almost get the crisp, clean, refreshing attributes that come in a Pilsner and lagers, but it's not necessarily, it's not clean. Like, it's crisp. That carbonation kind of gives it that crisp, and it has that drying effect. So it's crisp, and I feel refreshed when I drink it. But it's definitely not clean. Like when I think of clean, I think of viscosity, and this is a little thicker. It is a little thicker than like a lager or like a cleaner regular IPA. I'm getting tropical fruits. I get that apricot for sure from the puree. And I want to say one of these hop varieties, I couldn't tell you which, it's giving me like a tropical fruit vibe. Yeah, I want to say I get like the pineapple, and I would say like a mango, like more the tropical side, not as citrusy, not as acidic and sour. Definitely on the sweeter side. And then I get the touch of pine that I read in the descriptors. I hate reading descriptors because I feel like I'm setting my brain up to taste things, to register things in a beer that aren't really there. So I hate reading descriptors, but they did say there was just a tad bit of pine on the end, and that's true. I get just the smallest bit of that grassy pine flavor. Even burnt, so carbonation is there. As far as on the palate though, like the mouthfeel, it's not like scratching at my tongue. And like I said, I did say earlier, there's some viscosity here. I wouldn't say this is a creamy mouthfeel, but it definitely has a medium, a light medium, you know, leaning towards medium, but not necessarily like a full medium viscosity here. Yeah, all around good beer. I'd like to have a little more hops in this beer. With it being a double IPA, this feels a little weak to me. And here I am. I'm on the fast track to 11 IPAs, I guess, because here I am drinking a double IPA. And I'm saying it's a little weak in the bitterness department. But that's what they're going for, and I'm cool with that. You need to have sessionable beers. I would recommend this beer to the people like me venturing into IPAs. You've been into it for a couple months. You understand the bitterness. You can handle it. Or maybe you're coming from Scotch, like a Speyside Scotch, maybe, with all the complex fruity notes I've been told Speysides have. I've never had a Speyside Scotch, but I've heard that Speyside Scotches can have a complex fruity flavor. So I think the Speyside Scotch people could come over and enjoy this. I think people on my level that are beginning to enjoy IPAs, I think this is perfect for you to get into the double IPA category and not be scared by the bitterness. I think IPA lovers in general, I think this is just a good all-around IPA for everybody. You hit it out of the park, Trim Tab. Thoroughly impressed. I've never had a beer I didn't like from Trim Tab. They even have an award-winning Berliner Weiss. So if you're ever in Alabama, go on down to Birmingham if you're in the area and try out some Trim Tab. On the grade for this thing, it's just a little bit too fruity and not enough bitterness for me. It doesn't feel quite balanced as I was hoping it would be. So for that, I'm going to give it a 4 out of a 5. That's high praise for me. If I'm giving a hop forward beer, this isn't hop forward per se, it's more balanced than hop forward. But if I'm giving something in the IPA, pale ale, even just regular ale that's hop forward category, if I'm giving that an A period, just for future reference, that's high praise for me, because I didn't think I was a hop forward guy, and I don't think I still am. I don't reach for IPAs for everyday drinkers. I reach for ales and wit beers and things of that nature. But I enjoy reviewing the IPAs. It's been great. Another great IPA, brick in the house. trim tab. I mean, you just can't lose. Till next time, guys. Cheers.